In order for the false Messiah, Dajjal, to successfully impersonate the true Messiah, he must rule the world from Jerusalem, from his state of Israel, which must be the ruling state in the world. Do I need to repeat that? It's simple. It's elementary common sense. And therefore, he would also have to do the following. Logical deduction. Don't ask me for the hadith. Number one, the Holy Land is under Muslim rule. From the Jewish perspective, it is occupied by the Muslims. And so he will have to liberate the Holy Land for the Jews. But he's already done that. 1917. At the end of 1917, the Jews experienced the liberation, quote unquote, of the Holy Land. From our perspective, it's now occupied. Number two, he would have to bring the Jews back to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own. He's already done that. They have returned to the Holy Land. While we were eating roti canai and drinking teh tarik. And they have occupied the regained control over the Holy Land. Number three, he would have to restore a state of Israel in the Holy Land and get the Jews to believe that this is Holy Israel. He's already done that. This state of Israel came into being thanks to the United Nations organization, created by a mysterious European Jewish-Christian alliance, and we'll have more to talk about that in a moment. Or rather, the Quran will have more to talk about that in a moment. The State of Israel was born in 1948. If you have another explanation, I love to hear it. This is my explanation. If you have another, I'd love to hear it. This book was written more than 10 years ago. Jerusalem in the Quran. Are we still waiting for the world of Islamic scholarship to respond to it? Should we give them another 20 years? The State of Israel has grown in power thanks to the United Nations Security Council and to endless American vetoes in the Security Council. The State of Israel is now a nuclear-armed state, thermonuclear-armed state. The State of Israel is now poised to replace the United States of America as the next ruling state in the world, while Islamic scholarship is still eating roti canai and drinking teh tarik. It should not be long. If the attack takes place on Iran, you will see the events which will follow, like a script. What is the explanation for these events which have already unfolded in the world? Who brought the Jews back to the Holy Land? Which town is it that Allah is speaking about? Using my methodology, which I got from my teacher of blessed memory, Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari Rahimahullah, and you will find that methodology explained in my book on An Islamic View of Gog and Magog in the Modern World, Chapter 3 on methodology, and the book is outside somewhere on a table. I came to the conclusion while I was in New York that the town is Jerusalem. Having come to that conclusion, I then found out that it is also the opinion of my teacher, expressed in a book which was published by Ibrahim Bawani, rahimahullah, in 1958, I believe, on Gog and Magog and Israel. And then I found out that it was also the opinion of Dr. Muhammad Iqbal in a very famous Urdu couplet of his, the town is Jerusalem. And so Allah speaks about Jerusalem, and He says He has destroyed it and expelled the Jews and broke them up into bits and pieces and placed a ban on them that they can never return until Gog and Magog are released. And they spread out in all directions. 2,000 years after they were expelled, the Jews are back in the Holy Land. Is it possible that the Quran is silent on this? Is it possible that there is no explanation in the Quran of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land 2,000 years after they were expelled? Is it possible that there is no explanation in the Quran and Hadith about the restoration of a state of Israel in the Holy Land? Is it possible that there is nothing we have in Islam that will explain the growth of Israel to a super state poised to rule the world? Is it possible that the Quran and Hadith is silent? My answer is no. My Salafi brothers, and they are my brothers, and I am not with boxing gloves on. Look at my hands, there are no boxing gloves. This is an academic discussion, this is an intellectual discussion, no need to be enemies. Salafi Islamic scholarship insists with adamant insistence that only Allah and His Messenger and the Aslaf can interpret the Quran and the Ahadith. And if they have not identified the town as Jerusalem, no one can do it. No one can do it. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to leave them where they are and move on. Move on, because this methodology is explaining the world today, the reality of the world today, and mankind is recognizing that. We say that this is the work of Dajjal, and that when Israel becomes the ruling state in the world tomorrow, replacing the United States, then a man is going to emerge in Jerusalem. Nabi Muhammad ﷺ described that man to us 1400 years ago. He would be a Jew, born of Jewish parents. He would be a young man. So the young are going to rule the world tomorrow. He will be powerfully built. He would have curly hair. And in Jerusalem he is going to declare, I am the Messiah. And all of these that we are now witnessing are events which are unfolding, which will allow him to stand up in Jerusalem, ruling over an Israel which will be the ruling state in the world, which is around the corner, and declaring that I am the Messiah. And when he does that, the Zionists will accept him as the Messiah. But what about those who insist that only Allah and His Messenger and the Aslaf, only they can interpret? They will say, but no, you cannot be the Messiah, you cannot be Dajjal. He is Dajjal. But they'll show you cannot be Dajjal. Why? Because you are seeing with two eyes. And our Prophet said that Dajjal will see with one eye. He'll be blind in the right eye. He'll look like a bulging grape. So you cannot be Dajjal. I urge you to read the chapter, my book entitled Suratul Kahf and the Modern Age, because Suratul Kahf is the surah of Akhir Zaman. But you cannot study Suratul Kahf with one eye, you got to study with two. You cannot be Dajjal because Dajjal is going to ride on a donkey. The donkey will travel as fast as the clouds. The donkey will have his ears stretched out wide. Where is your flying donkey? Unless we see your flying donkey, we will not recognize you as Dajjal. I can go on with many more. You know there are hadiths I can quote. But we will say this is Dajjal. And it is at that time, after he has made his declaration, I am the Messiah, that Nabi Isa alayhi salam will come down with his hand resting on the wings of two angels. We have more knowledge of this subject than the Pope in Rome. And he's going to kill Dajjal. And then Gog and Magog are going to be sent, not released. Gog and Magog are going to be sent, not released. And for this we got to go to Suratul Kahf. We got to go to the story of Zulkarnain and study that carefully. At that time the Holy Land is going to be liberated. At that time Muslims are going to liberate it.